meeting for February 9th. We have a special presentation today that I would like our City Attorney, Victoria Mendez, to take the lead on.
Thank you so much. Commissioner Reyes, did you want to say a few words before?
Yes, of course. Of course. You see, we are honoring a person that deserves to be honored. This gentleman, besides being an excellent attorney, he spent 20 years with us, right? 22 years with the city of Miami. We owed him a lot of gratitude because while he was here, he was excellent and saved a lot of money to the city. Being so qualified, the governor is taking it away from us, and now I want you to meet our new judge, a county court judge. He was appointed, and nobody deserves it more than him, and I know that he's going to be an excellent judge. Congratulations, and we really, hate to see you go. You will be irreplaceable. Thank you. Thank you for all your service. Thank you.
So as Commissioner Reyes said, Christopher Green has been with the city for 22 years. He was our head of litigation. That deserves a clap right there. He was our chief of litigation when he left our office, and he has left quite the void in our office. Other than being an amazing trial attorney, board certified in civil trial with so many years of experience, more than anything, Christopher Green is an amazing human being, an amazing person, an amazing father, an amazing husband, an amazing sibling, and he is just deserving of so many wonderful things. And we will definitely miss you. We miss you already. And we wish you so much luck in your new endeavors. And thank you for representing the city of Miami so well. And we're so proud of you.
Judge Christopher Green is what all of us should hope that every judge that we have at whatever level should be like. Someone that has a solid knowledge of the law, someone that has integrity, that has ethics, that is principled. And while we have already been missing his talents and his work quite a bit in the city, because to fill a hole like that, a legal hole like that, in a city like this, especially in the times that we're living in the city of Miami, it's not an easy task just to bring another attorney. But we're very proud that Chris is going into something that he wanted. Our community is going to be much better by having a judge like Christopher Green, and I hope that we won't have to hire 2 or 3 attorneys to replace him. But Judge Green, all the best to you and your family in the future. We're extremely, extremely proud of you and thankful of the years of honorable service that you give in the city of Miami. Thank you.
I'd like to echo what my colleagues said and also share that I am the only person here that has real world experience with Judge Green. Before I became commissioner, you all know I was an attorney, and I've had the pleasure of working with him, and I can tell you that he is so generous with his time, his experience, his knowledge. I have found him to be fair, and I know that will carry on to the bench, and that is important for attorneys. That is important for attorneys, that we know that maybe we won't always be on the right side, but that you'll be fair, and you won't try to make us feel less, because there are some judges that, right? So as an attorney, I want to share with you that he is going to be one of the best judges that both the community and attorneys can have on the bench. And thank you for your service.
Thank you.
So before I turn over the mic to our esteemed judge, I want you all to know that today is Judge Christopher A. Green Day in the city of Miami.
Well, Chairman King, Commissioner Carollo, Commissioner Reyes, Madam City Attorney, Mr. City Manager, friends, colleagues, thank you so much for this honor and this recognition. I'm really humbled. I'm proud to have served the city of Miami for 22 years. When I started with the city of Miami, it's kind of a funny story because, but for my mother-in-law, I wouldn't be here. My mother-in-law, Patricia Quintana, used to work for the Parks Department, and she told me about a posting in the city attorney's office for a job of assistant city attorney, so I applied for it. Ironically, when I was first offered the job to do workers' comp, I turned it down. Then Alex Villarello called me back the next day and said, okay, well, you can do litigation. I said, all right. But since then, it's been an amazing experience having the opportunity to work on a tremendous variety of cases and practice in courts, you know, from county court to the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals. It's been an honor to really work on the cases that I've had to work. But more importantly, what kept me here for this amount of time is not the work, but more the people that I've had to work with. And I have never seen more dedicated public servants than in the office of the city attorney. From office services, paralegals, litigation assistants, my fellow lawyers, and the city attorney, Victoria Mendez, is probably the hardest working public employee I have ever met. I don't think she ever sleeps. There's emails, text messages, all hours of the night. But I know that because in her heart, she truly loves the city, and she truly wants what's best for the citizens of the city of Miami. And she's really a role model for the rest of the office. And I also want to give a special recognition to those lawyers who were mentors to me in my 22 years at the city. And one of them is here today, Henry Hunnefeld. I would not be the board-certified lawyer I am today but for Henry. He really taught me the ropes of civil litigation. Whenever I had a question, his door was always open. We tried many cases together. We had wins and losses and shared many of those joys and challenges. Also, John Greco, who's been a brother to me, brother from another mother. And fellow 66er. But John and I are kind of kindred souls. We share the same likes, and he has also been a mentor to me in my practice. And, you know, I just thank all of you for this opportunity and this amazing opportunity to serve the city, and I look forward to serving the city and the community on the bench. Thank you.
If we can have Chris's wife and sisters come up for a quick picture, and then the office and Mr. Manager. His sisters are here too, it's so cute.
She is a gator. Liz is a gator. So is my sister Pat.
And his sister.
Gators in the house. And I mean, they are the ones that kept you straight.
And now the office and Judge Diaz. Is Judge Diaz still here? Another alumni of the City Attorney's Office, Judge Veronica Diaz. Thank you for coming. Yeah, come, or, oh yeah, that's a good, do you think if everybody stands in front, so you have a two-tier? Jonathan, does that work? Up there? Okay. Mr. Manager, Greco? Okay. Here, get in front of this tall guy right here. That. Okay. Carrie, stand in front of a tall person. You're good, you're good.
At this time, let's get together. It's already 10 o'clock. We are going to have the invocation prayer by Pastor Caldwell, New Providence Missionary Baptist Church. But I need to get everyone needs to be seated, quiet. This month is also Black History Month, Black Heritage Month, and I am proud to stand here as a representative of that culture. For me, I have said to everyone that I've made this speech to, every day is Black History Month for me because I'm Black. It's not something I can get away from. So I live and I personify our rich culture every single day, but it's always a pleasure and an honor when we celebrate our culture as we are doing this month. So thank you for being here, and at this time we are going to have our invocation by Pastor Caldwell.
Thank you, Commissioner King, and to the commission. Please bow your head with me as we evoke the presence of Almighty God in this assembly. God of our weary years, God of our silent tears, Thou who has brought us thus far on the way, Thou who has by Thy might led us into the light, keep us forever in Your path, we pray. God, once again, this commission has assembled itself to do the work of leadership, to be the voice of the constituents, to be, Lord God, the leaders in the community, for the community, and by the community. God, I pray that none will be cerebrally protruded to think that we have made it thus far alone, because we all have been on the backs of others and the shoulders of others. So God, we ask for Your solemn presence in this place. Give these commissioners wisdom, give them discernment, and give them understanding. And help us, oh God, as we are a community of differences, but we are one. And we give You the glory today. We give You the honor and we give You the praise. For it's in Christ's name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Is Gail in the house? Is Gail here? Gail. If anyone can find Gail, see if she's upstairs. And at this time, Commissioner Reyes, would you honor us with the Pledge of Allegiance? One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We will begin our meeting with the announcements that our city attorney must make.
Detailed information about the processes, order of business, rules of procedure, and scheduling, rescheduling of city commission meetings can be found in Chapter 2, Article 2 of the City Code. A copy is available online and at www.municode.com. Any person who is a lobbyist pursuant to Chapter 2, Article 6 of the City Code must register with the city clerk and comply with related city requirements. For lobbyists, before appearing before the city commission, a person may not lobby a city official, board member, or staff member until registering. A copy of the code section about lobbyists is available in the city clerk's office or online at www.municode.com. Any person making a presentation, formal request, or petition to the city commission concerning real property must make those disclosures required by the city code in writing. A copy of this city code section is available at the Office of Communications, at the Office of the City Clerk, or online at www.municode.com. The City of Miami requires that anyone requesting action by the City Commission must disclose before the hearing any consideration provided or committed to anyone for agreement to support or withhold objection to the requested action pursuant to City Code Section 2-8. Any documents offered to the City Commission that have not been provided 7 days before the meeting as part of the agenda materials will be entered into the record at the City Commission's discretion. In accordance to Section 2-33F and G of the City Code, the agenda and material for each item on the agenda is available during business hours at the City Clerk's office and online 24 hours a day at www.miamigov.com. Any person may be heard by the City Commission through the chair for not more than 2 minutes on any proposition before the City Commission unless modified by the chair. Public comment will begin at approximately 10:15 and remain open until public comment is closed by the chair. Members of the public wishing to address the body may do so by submitting written comments via the online comment form. Please visit www.miamigov.com/meeting instructions for detailed instructions on how to provide public comment using the online public comment form. The comments submitted through the comment form have been and will be distributed to elected officials and city administration throughout the day so the elected officials may consider the comments prior to taking any action. Additionally, the online comment form will remain open during the meeting to accept comments and distribute to elected officials up until the chair closes public comment. Public comment may also be provided live at City Hall at 3500 Pan American Drive, Miami, Florida, subject to any and all city rules as they may be amended. If the proposition is being continued or rescheduled, the opportunity to be heard may be at such later date before the City Commission takes action on such proposition. When addressing the City Commission, the member of the public must first state their name, their address, and what item will be spoken about. Any person with a disability requiring assistance, auxiliary aids, and services for this meeting may notify the city clerk. The city has provided different public comment methods to indicate, among other things, the public support, opposition, or neutrality on the items and topics to be discussed at the City Commission meeting in compliance with Section 286.0114 Florida statutes. The public has been given the opportunity to provide public comment during the meeting and within reasonable proximity and time before the meeting. Please note, commissioners have generally been briefed by city staff and the city attorney on items on the agenda today. Anyone wishing a verbatim record of the item considered at this meeting may request it at the Office of Communications or view it online at www.miamigov.com. PZ items shall proceed according to Section 7.1.4 of the Miami 21 zoning ordinance as temporarily modified pursuant to emergency ordinance numbers 13903 and 13914. Parties for any PZ items, including any applicant, appellant, appellee, city staff, and any person recognized by the decision-making body as a qualified intervener, as well as the applicant's representatives and any experts testifying on behalf of the applicant, appellant, or appellee may either be physically present at City Hall to be sworn in by oath or affirmation by the city clerk, or may appear virtually and make arrangements to be sworn in by oath or affirmation in person at their location by an individual qualified to perform such duty. Pursuant to Emergency Ordinance Number 13903, members of the general public who are not parties to an action pending before the City Commission are not required to be sworn in by oath or affirmation. The members of the City Commission shall disclose any ex parte communications to remove the presumption of prejudice pursuant to Florida Statute 286.0115 and Section 7.1.4.5 of the Miami 21 zoning ordinance. The order of presentation shall be as set forth in Miami 21 and in the City Code. Staff will briefly present each item to be heard. The applicant will present its application or request to the City Commission. If the applicant agrees with the staff recommendation, the City Commission may proceed to its deliberation and decision. The applicant may also waive the right to an evidentiary hearing on the record. For appeals, the appellant will present its appeal to the City Commission, followed by the appellee. Staff will be allowed to make any recommendation they may have. Please silence all cell phones and other noise-making devices at this time. This meeting shall be viewed live on Miami TV, the city's Facebook page, the city's Twitter page, the city's YouTube channel, and Comcast Channel 77. The broadcast will also have closed captioning. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. City Clerk, how are you today?
Good morning, Chair.
Good to see you.
You too, ma'am. Thank you.
Could you please read for the record your statement?
Thank you, Chair. The procedures for individuals who provide testimony or sworn in for planning and zoning items and any quasi-judicial items on today's City Commission agenda will be as follows. Members of city staff or any other individuals required to be sworn in who are currently present at City Hall will be sworn on by me, the city clerk, immediately after I finish explaining these procedures. Those individuals who are appearing remotely may be sworn in now or at any time prior to the individual providing testimony or planning and zoning items and or quasi-judicial items. Pursuant to emergency ordinance number 13903, those individuals appearing remotely may be sworn in at their location by an individual qualified to administer the oath. After you're sworn in, please be sure to complete, sign, and notarize the affidavit provided to you by the City Attorney's Office. Each individual who will provide testimony must be sworn in and execute an affidavit. Please email a scanned version of the signed affidavit to the city clerk at thannon@mymagov.com prior to providing testimony on the planning and zoning item and or quasi-judicial item. The affidavit shall be included in the record for the relevant item for which you will be providing testimony. Commissioners, are you comfortable with all the notice provisions set forth in these uniform rules and procedures we have established for this meeting?
Yes,
Thank you, Chair. May I administer the oath?
please.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. If you're speaking on any of today's planning and zoning items, may I please have you stand and raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give at today's hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? And your response is? Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Mr. City Manager, do you have any items that you would like to continue, defer, withdraw, or indefinitely defer?
Good morning, Madam Chair, Madam City Attorney, Mr. City Clerk, Commission. The administration would like to defer and or withdraw the following items. PH1 to be withdrawn. PH2 to be indefinitely deferred. RE4 to be deferred to April 27th. RE6 to be deferred to April 27th. And PZ8 to be deferred to February 23rd.
I believe there's also other requests by applicants to reset RE3. I believe the applicant's attorney is here, and then you are,
Kevin Cruz, Greenspoon Martyr, office is located at 600 Brickell Avenue. Here on behalf of PZ9, applicant name is DF MMJ Investments LLC. At this time, we would request an indefinite deferral on this item. We represent the other 4 cannabis items that are currently on indefinite deferral, and we'd like for the city to hear them together.
Okay. Anything else? Any other items?
I apologize, Madam Chairwoman. Can we read the deferrals again from the city manager and city attorney's office quickly?
Yes, hold on
Just
one
the
second.
number-
I
just,
think we have one more that's going to be
We
deferred.
do. Good morning, Madam Chair.
Good morning.
Rachel Olay on behalf of the City Attorney's Office.
Rachel, I believe the commissioner is just asking for a quick.
Wait, let her
yeah.
finish, and then we'll catch them all again.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Counsel for the attorney, standing in for the attorney on RE3, which is a mitigation. I believe they're requesting a reset to March 23rd due to a conflict in the attorney who is handling the matter's schedule, as well as a possible sale issue, which might assist with them and this mitigation.
Okay. All right. Mr. Manager?
Before that, so that was actually one of my questions. On the RE3 matter, is the applicant requesting a reset?
Yes.
Or do we want to hear it today?
Reset, please. Rachel Letterman.
For what date?
For March
March
23rd.
23rd.
23rd. Okay.
Mr. Manager, can you read all of the items that have been deferred or
Thank you.
withdrawn again?
Would you like me to include the ones that have been requested at the podium?
Yes, sir.
All of them.
All of them, sir.
PH1 to be withdrawn. PH2 to be indefinitely deferred. RE3 to be deferred to March 23rd. RE4 to be deferred to April 27th. RE6 to be deferred to April 27th. PZ8 to be deferred to February 23rd, and PZ9 to be indefinitely deferred.
And Madam Chair, that's all items from every commissioner also?
Now I'm going to ask the commissioners.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Okay. Mr. Vice Chair, do you have any items that you would like to defer or withdraw?
Madam Chair, if you won't mind, I know it's in your district, but I don't think it's going to have any effect if we defer for the next meeting so I could get better informed on it, SR6.
SR6. Till
Next meeting.
next meeting?
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
Not at this point in time that I see.
Commissioner?
I have no deferrals for now.
Commissioner Reyes? With that, do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
A second? To set the agenda? I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
The motion carries. Look how well I did that this time. Didn't even stutter. Okay. So we are now on our CA items. Do I have a motion?
I'll move the CA items,
Oh, wait. I'm sorry.
public hearing.
I will now open for public comments. If anyone would like to speak on behalf of the items that remain on our agenda, please step forward if you would like to speak on any of the items that remain on the agenda.
Sir, for this item, this is our mitigation item
Right,
that
so
he
you
has,
get
so
to
he'll.
speak when your item comes up, so you don't speak at public comment. Is there anyone else here for public comment?
Before I start speaking, what was the last item that was forwarded? That he
That
spoke?
was deferred?
Yeah.
It was SR 6, a noise exemption ordinance.
All right, Louis Marzabedi Garza, homeless at Peacock Park with SR2. I read that as a Department of Resilience, they're transferring money laundering. And I believe PH2 was not on the list. Why are we giving business to a Delaware limited company? We know all the problems we've been having with our president in Delaware.
PH2
And-
is not on the agenda.
I'm sorry?
It's not on the agenda.
PH2?
Yes.
So try to stay away from the Dominion hardware, please. And for page 25 through 68, BC1 through BC23, for over a year you have printed these, and none of you have taken the time to appoint a vast majority of people to these committees. You talk about saving our resources, stop printing these particular items until you come up with people to fill the positions. This is over 15 pages on every single one of these that you print. Walk the walk, talk the talk. Do not put these in our agenda if you're not going to do anything with them, which you have not done for a year. And you can all look through them, page 25 through 68. They're completely empty. Now, knowing that I've got, 45 seconds left? You have all made an unholy mess of things in Miami. And I state once again, defend your oath to God and country. I say to you, friend or foe, Trump or Joe, choose ye this day. The White Hats have a thorough dossier on everyone here, and the White Hats can hear you breathe. And scene. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else here for public comment? Seeing none, public comment period is closed. Do I have a motion for our CA items, CA 1, 2, 3, 4?
I will move all 4 items.
Do I have a second? I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Do I have a motion for PH
3, 4,
3,
and 5.
4, and 5?
I'll move it. All 3 items.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
And Chair, just for the record, I have you as a co-sponsor for PH3.
3, 4, and 5.
Oh, for PH, you want to be a co-sponsor for PH3, 4, and 5?
Yes.
Understood.
We are now on our resolutions. Do I have a motion for RE 1, 2,
5,
5?
7, 8, and 9.
Madam Chair?
I understand. I know, Vicky.
Okay.
7, 8, and 9.
I'll move it.
Okay, those are what again? RE,
It's RE 1, 4, 5.
4,
Se-
wasn't 4 being deferred?
Oh, sorry. Okay, RE 1, RE 2,
2,
RE
5.
5,
7, 8, and 9.
7, 8, and 9.
Correct.
Chair?
And one, I know, Todd. And one we have to allow because it's a mitigation.
Yes, and then RE1, we're going to be modifying. So RE1, Commissioner Reyes suggested a modification that instead of rescinding it altogether, that the item, a future legislation item that's going to be brought to commission, for it to come and be placed on the agenda for one meeting, and then it could come back for first reading on the next meeting. So instead of having the 60-day waiting period and all that, and rescinding the item altogether, that for us to do it, that it comes for one meeting, and then the next meeting it could be a first reading item. That's the amendment.
Notice of what's going on, because, I mean, if there is a future legislation on one meeting prior, we can analyze it and determine the pros and cons. Okay. That's the only change, okay?
Does anybody have any discussion on that? I think one meeting is fair.
Yes?
Yeah.
We accept that amendment.
Okay.
So RE1 as amended. RE2.
RE5?
We're going to take RE5 out because that's a mitigation.
7, 8, and 7, 8, and 9.
7, 8, and 9. I have a motion and a second.
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion carries. And now we will take up RE5. We'll first hear from the city attorney, and then we'll hear from.
Good morning, Deanna Rasco. This is a mitigation for the property located at 607 to 609 Northwest 75th Street.
Deanna, 1 second. Are there any Jennings disclosures on this item? Commissioners, are there any Jennings disclosures on this item?
This is a mitigation of the property located at 607 through 609 Northwest 75th Street. The property value is $181,000. The owner is not the violator. He purchased this via a tax deed sale. He paid the special assessments in the amount of $16,222. There remains 2 code enforcement liens on the property that were resolved in 2013. And he's here today to request a mitigation. He's offered $5,000 for each code enforcement lien.
Good morning. I'm Manuel Baltodano, the managing member of Carrera USA. I just want to say thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to speak on mitigating the fees. And I just, if I may, speak on what we intend on to do with the site. Our goal is to open a mulch operation that we feel will benefit the community and our small business landscapers and our farmers get some of the organic material from what we hope to mulch and just boost our recycling efforts in Miami and in Miami-Dade in general so that we can meet our recycling credits. We'd really appreciate your consideration in this matter and would love your support in mitigating this fee.
I need to make a Jennings disclosure that Su Hermano came to Constituent Tuesday and briefed me on this matter. I understand that you are offering $10,000, $5,000 for each, and I explained to your brother that that is too low. We cannot accept that. While I am willing to assist, and we could even offer a payment plan, but I just cannot accept $10,000 for the amount that is being carried. So if you could maybe speak to the attorney and come up with another number, I could share it with my colleagues, because what you are going to do with the property will benefit the community. I have no doubt, and I want to support that. But we have established this policy for a reason, and while I understand that you are not a bad actor, the city has put forth a lot of effort and expended a lot of time in trying to get this property to code. So if you can take some time and speak with our city attorney, we can revisit it, try to come to a little better number.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair.
Thank you for coming. So we'll table this for a while? Okay.
Very well, thank you.
All right. We'll defer it for a few, within today, I think we can, well, maybe you can ask your questions now, and that might help.
Okay. What is the amount that,
The amount of the two liens, one lien is for $603,000,
how much, 600?
$603,500. The other lien, $68,000.
Same property?
Same property. These liens were from a previous owner who failed to pay taxes from 2013 to 2019. Basically did not take care of the property. City went in there, charged the two liens plus special assessments, and we demolished the structure that was there.
How did this gentleman get the property?
He got it through a tax deed sale.
Okay, tax deed. Okay. The liens were for what?
For keeping a vacant, unsecured structure, illegally maintaining or depositing junk, failure to maintain exterior of commercial residential property, failure to maintain lot in a safe, clean condition was the first code enforcement lien. The second one was failure to register a vacant structure.
Okay. How much does the city have into it in our costs?
At this point, there was roughly $23,000 in special assessments. We have received full payment for the $23,000 at this point. Right now, there's only the two code enforcement liens that remain pending.
Okay, so we have $671,500.
Correct.
What is the property appraised at?
$181,320.
$320, okay. All right, even if it's worth 300, 350, or maybe even more, it's still worth below the $671,500 that they owe. Look, he's an investor. He knew more or less what he was getting in these properties. But at the same time, this is different than some of the other cases that I see that they went directly to a property to buy it, knowing the condition and the liens that it had, figuring that they could do precisely this, come to us and get it lower, while the party they were getting it from probably had no idea of what they could do or not do. So I think we've been taking the stance here, pretty much so, that at the very least, we've been looking at 10%, at the very least. So I'll leave you with that in mind, that that's what I'll be looking at in keeping with. And this is because of the kind of liens that it has also.
I will make one comment. I do know that this is not going to be, because in the past we've used negotiating tools for affordable housing. This is not going to be a structure on this property, so I wanted to bring that up to the commission's attention as well. He has a unity of title. He's requested a unity of title to combine some properties to create this mulching service. I will definitely discuss what you have conveyed to me today with him.
Yeah, but that's not before us now, the unity of title, right? This is not
No.
here.
Pardon?
The
Unity of title,
yeah.
that's not before us now.
No, I understand that. I'm just saying his intention with the property, that he has a plan in place, I guess. That's the reason I brought it before the commission.
Madam Chair? May I?
Yes.
What's the zoning there? Industrial?
The zoning, I do not know. Mr. Goldberg said it was correctly zoned.
I believe it's D1 industrial. It abuts residential in the
That's right.
area, but it's D1 industrial
D1
in that area.
So go have a conversation and get back with us. You have your marching orders. Thank you.
so much.
Thank you very much.
And at this time, I understand that there's another person that would like public comment, but she was not allowed access into the building. They had to get some information clarified, and I would like to have her step up so she could have her public comment.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I brought Bella with me. One, she's my emotional support. Okay. One, she's my emotional support. I was taken to Camilla House and told that she could stay with me. Well, an RN decided to cause issues and got her out of the room and put her into the kennel. There's video I have of the kennels that are inhuman, the air quality and things to that effect are very... And she's put in a situation where she was actually physically abused, and they would not allow me to see the cameras. Besides that, I also would like to say that Camilla House was started 50 years ago by the brothers, and wonderful, wonderful idea they came with. It's changed. The people feel like they're in prison. I've walked in there and we're treated with such lack of respect, dignity. We're humiliated, insulted. At one point, in the middle of the night, they turned the lights on just to scan our IDs. We're treated inhumanly, and I've said it before, we're not animals, we're human beings. When we go to this place, we go there for help. We know abuse. We know mistreatment. We're out in the street. People hurt us, light us on fire, crack our heads open and kill us. When we come here, we want compassion, true love, understanding. Hope is where the heart is what Camilla's house started with. Right now, it seems like a feeding and cattle ground. We're just moving along. We're threatened. Oh, if you don't do what we said, we're going to throw you out. There's people there that are victimized, and the victims are the ones getting kicked out, and the victimizers staying there. That's unfair. There's a woman, her name is Nefertiti. The guy was stalking her. He put a lock on her cage so she couldn't get to her dog. Would you believe they threw her out and he stayed? I really would love, I love the place and the concept. What I don't like is the management, the way it is. It needs new management where they have heart, compassion. Look at us. We want to be there, and we want to feel like we're being helped and we're being loved and taken care of. We know what it's like to be abused. We know it.
Okay.
Let's just...
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. And at this time, we are going to move forward with our agenda. SRs. Do I have a motion?
I'm sorry. On, what are we voting
So
on?
it's SR1, SR2, SR3, SR4, SR5,
Okay. If I may, Chairwoman,
1 through 5.
yeah, if, on SR 5, if I could ask for a deferral for the next meeting, since I'm really not clear in this one. I unfortunately was absent when this came up first, and I'd just like to bring it to the next meeting.
Okay. And staff, would you please brief, because that's in my district. and-
Yeah, no, I know
Okay.
that.
All
I know
right.
that.
Madam
So
Chair.
I don't have an
but-
issue with it, so you can be clear
But it's going to
about
be
it.
citywide, right?
No,
no?
no, it's not citywide. Is it citywide?
It's just tweaking Chapter 35. It's already in Miami 21, which says that there's no valet in residential.
Right.
And this is just placing it in Chapter 35 to clarify that there's no valet in residential.
Okay.
Anyway.
All right, I'll take it back.
Unless
if
you
it's
have a
clear.
party and you want to hire your own little valet company to put the.
Right.
But
Yeah, but
other
that's
than
not,
that,
that's not having a party every day or
No, no.
every weekend.
No, no, no.
No.
Okay, all right.
So
All
we'll
right,
leave
so
that?
then- Yeah, you can leave it then.
Okay.
That's clarified.
Madam Chair,
Yes?
as you you remember, I voted against SR3, and I would like to vote in the other ones and take
Hold up.
SR3
Okay, hold
itself,
it.
because I'm going
Okay.
to, out of consistency,
Okay.
I am going to,
Okay, so we have in play SR1, SR2, SR4, and 5. Do I have a,
Move.
do I have
second.
a second?
I'll second it.
All
Yeah,
in,
I think he seconded
he
it.
seconded.
Yeah, that's fine.
All in favor?
Chair, the titles.
an
Oh, Victoria,
ordinance.
can you read the titles?
An ordinance of the Miami City Commission amending Chapter 2 of the Code of the City of Miami, Florida as amended, titled Administration, Chapter 10 of the City Code, titled Buildings, Chapter 11 of the City Code, titled Cable Television, Chapter 11.5 of the City Code, titled Civilian Complaint Investigation and Review, Chapter 13 of the City Code, titled Development Impact and Other Related Fees, Chapter 17 of the City Code, entitled Environmental Preservation, Chapter 18 of the City Code, titled Finance, Chapter 22 of the City Code, titled Garbage and Other Solid Waste, Chapter 31 of the City Code, titled Local Business Tax and Miscellaneous Business Regulations, Chapter 35 of the City Code, titled Motor Vehicles and Traffic, Chapter 39 of the City Code, titled Peddlers and Itinerant Vendors, Chapter 54 of the City Code, titled Streets and Sidewalks, and Chapter 62 of the City Code, titled Planning and Zoning, to replace or strike references to the Neighborhood Enhancement Team NET from the City Code, making findings containing a severability clause and providing for an effective date. SR2, an ordinance of the Miami City Commission amending Chapter 2, Article 4, Division 4, Section 2-272 of the Code of the City of Miami, as amended, titled Administration, Departments, Resilience, and Public Works, Department Plan Review Fee,
Homeless ladies.
providing for transfer of traffic study fee under Chapter 62, Article 6, Section 62-22 of the City Code, titled Planning and Zoning, Zoning and Planning Fees, Schedule of Fees to Resilience and Public Works Department, containing a severability clause and providing for an immediate effective date. SR3, an ordinance of the Miami City Commission amending Chapter 2, Article 9, Section 2-779 of the Code of the City of Miami, Florida, as amended, titled Administration, City-Owned Property, Outdoor Advertising Signs on Government-Owned Property, to allow for outdoor advertising signs at Bayfront Park, Maurice Ferrer Park, Virginia Key Beach Park, and Department of Off-Street Parking Facilities, containing a severability clause and providing for an effective date.
And Chair, just for the record, the city attorney is only reading the title in for SR3. It's not part of the items that are going to be voted upon. It's just for clarification.
Yeah.
Is
Which
it
ones are
being
we
voted
voting
on
on?
later?
We're voting on, because Commissioner Reyes asked to pull it out for
Oh,
discussion.
I'm sorry, that's right.
So we're voting on SR1,
Okay.
SR2,
Okay.
SR4, and 5.
Okay, I need SR 4 and 5. Thank you for clarifying, Mr. Clerk. An ordinance of the Miami City Commission amending Chapter 22, Article 1 of the Code of the City of Miami, Florida, as amended, titled Garbage and Other Solid Waste in general, and more specifically, Section 22-93, titled Enforcement and Administrative Fees, to provide and for exemptions for residential property owners who are victims of an unrelated party illegal dumping, to adjust the citation amounts as issued to conform with Florida statutes containing a severability clause and providing for an immediate effective date. And SR 5, an ordinance of the Miami City Commission amending Chapter 35, Article 9 of the Code of the City of Miami, Florida, as amended, titled Motor Vehicles and Traffic Valet Parking, to provide for restrictions for the use of residential right-of-way for valet parking services, and to amend enforcement and fine amounts containing a severability clause and providing for an immediate effective date. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Okay, SR3 now.
Yes, let's
Move.
take up,
I will second it.
Madam City Attorney, in SR3, is it clear in the ordinance or not that for Bayfront Park and Maurice Ferre Park, the monuments, signs will be no greater than 400 square feet?
If it is not clear, we will make sure that it is clear no more than 400 feet
Well,
at the bayfront.
that's for the monuments.
For the monument signs, yes. I will clarify in the legislation.
Okay.
So as amended, just in case, because right now I have to pull it up to make sure. I don't think it has the size on the monument signs, so
Okay,
I
well-
will make
well,
sure it's in there.
We're
does it
going to
have-
keep it that way at Bayfront Park. So whether it's there or not, I'm not as concerned because, you know, we will keep it as a board on these monuments.
But it'll be clear that it is no more
Okay.
than 400 feet
Okay.
on the monument signs.
Commissioner Reyes, does,
I have a question.
okay, he's the one that pulled it.
Yes, I stated my concerns in a previous meeting. It is too broad. It is too broad. It allows everybody to, any public or city-owned property, that could be parks and any place. I don't think that maybe now somebody's not going to use it, but in the future, the people could say, okay, now in Shenandoah Park, we can place one, and I can place it. It is too broad, and also the monument. That's not what I was told in the first voting, that the monuments were going to be 40 square feet instead of 400. 400 square feet is large. And I cannot picture myself, I cannot fathom myself having 3 or 4, whatever, 3 of those 400 square feet billboards in Bayfront Park. I'm sorry, but I think parks should be parks. You know, they shouldn't be, even in New York, there's you don't see in Central Park, you don't see any billboards. As a matter of fact, they have an ordinance that you cannot have a billboard that could be seen from a park. You see, I believe that we should have one in the Palm, Virginia Key, but that is specific, but that's why I want to vote no, and later on, if you want to change it, well, you can change it, but that is my opposition to it. So you can vote for it, and I mean, my vote is not going to preclude this for passing, I know. So let's just go right ahead.
Well, if I could include this in the record so that we're clear. There was some individuals that with malice started putting out emails showing these huge billboards that were going to go in the middle of Bayfront Park, Ferre Park, by the water. That was totally not true. It's not true. What this particular ordinance is approving, based upon what was voted upon by the board, of Bayfront Park Trust, it's only four small monument signs, bigger than the ones that the DDA has all over Biscayne Boulevard. Yes, but not these huge signs. These are under 400 square feet that are much smaller than your normal billboard, but greater than the small signs that we have out there now. There's only going to be 4 of them that we're going to approve, 2 in Bayfront Park and 2 in Maurice Ferre Park, and they're right at the edge by the sidewalk, inside the park, but right by the sidewalk. At the end, at the beginning of one, at the ending of the other, at the beginning of one, and at the ending of the other. This is going to bring substantial revenue for us to be able to keep on management and doing so much and running these parks, in particular Ferre Park. Ferre Park, we have very little money to run the park. Most of the money that, and when I say most, probably 90% or so of the money that's being used to run that park comes from the revenues that Bayfront Park raises.
Yes, I know.
So we need that there, and particularly with all the amenities that we're planning to come in the future, including the largest playground that the state of Florida will have. Our next phase is going to be 20-plus outdoor exercise equipment for people to do exercise. We already opened what I think is the largest actual dog park in Florida that's divided into one part for big dogs and one part for little dogs, so people can just go and let their dogs loose. You're all invited this Saturday for the official grand opening of the Dogs and Cats Walkway Sculpture Gardens. It's beautiful. You'll really enjoy it. And there's going to be a lot of activities Saturday, including for the kids. They'll be from 2 p.m., you could come earlier, until at least 6, maybe 8 p.m. So come, there'll be music, symphony music. We're going to have the 3 Latin divas. It's like the Italian guys that sing opera, but these are...
What's the name of the 3 bandidos?
No, the divas.
Eh?
Or the 3 amigos.
Yeah. So there'll be bounce houses for the kids, and it'll just be a good family type event that everybody will enjoy, and it's free to the public. But most of all, you'll be able to enjoy the most beautiful sculpture gardens down here in South Florida with more flowers than any other place that we have down here. And then you'll see the outstanding work that our local artists have done in painting a total of 57 dogs and cats that are going to be shown there. And these are all local artists, the people that live here. So you're going to be surprised at the talent that Miami has. It's really amazing, what we've seen. And you're all invited. So these are the things that are coming there into the future, soccer fields, other sports-related activities, even a glorieta that is going to be planned. There'll be a small area where we're going to be bringing in the future, the Humane Society, so that we'll have little dogs and kittens for people to adopt. Hopefully, we'll have a vet to give shots and so on that's closer for people in the area, especially we have so many apartments in Miami, downtown Brickell and other parts, that it seems everybody or every other apartment's got a dog or two. And, you know, they'll have a vet that they could come to. So it's going to be a lot of activities that'll be there. A lot of upkeep and maintenance and people that we have to hire for that. And on every day, when you open up a playground the size of the one we're planning, you need personnel there to make sure that there's safety, that everything's being running properly. So this is why we need this, and I prefer to have 4 small monument LEDs than to have all these concerts and what have you that, you know, are very intrusive into people's life, and not to mention the problems that they have at night. So this is why we're doing this, and I just wanted to be transparent in what we're planning there, that it's not going to be these huge billboards that you see on 95, what was being sent maliciously to neighbors, telling them this is what we're putting there. That's not so, not in this ordinance.
Commissioner?
I wanna say something. I didn't know that campaign was going on because I never received any of those emails, and I never pay attention to what social media says because they always, they're never too, I mean, sometimes they exaggerate what the problem is. I have my concerns, and I asked for a illumination analysis, and I didn't get in order for the neighbors. And I do understand your intent, and I'll take it. I mean, it is nothing bad. We're trying to get more revenues, and I know that you need more revenues because of the things what you are doing in Bayfront Park is very commendable. The dogs and cat walk. It is. I have heard so many good things about it, and I know that you're going to need some money for maintenance, and I am willing to vote with you to increase the budget. I have a line item for maintenance, but I have my concerns, and I just want to. I vote with my conscience. It is too broad, the legislation. And let's hope for the best. But I have to stand in on my word, and I vote with my conscience and a clear conscience. I cannot do it because I think that a 400 square feet monument sign is big, in my opinion. It's 20 by 20, you see. And so let's vote.
Commissioner, I very much respect your opinion. All that I was trying to do was be transparent. And put in the record what we're planning and doing there in the future. But I certainly respect your vote.
Sure.
I'd also like to put on the record, and I've said this before, that there will be no sign on the historic Virginia Key Beach Park that is not environmentally and or historically sensitive to the space. We can't have big billboards with bright lights because we have to take care of the wildlife that's there, the turtle mating season, and that would be detrimental. So I want to make sure that it is in the legislation that there is no sign that will go on the Virginia Key Beach Park that is environmentally unsafe.
We wrote, lumens need to be compliant with environmental standards for nesting turtles and other endangered animals.
Perfect. So that will ensure that we don't overstep.
And then I just wanted to,
What endangered, I'm sorry, madam, if I may. What endangered animals do we have, Madam City Attorney, in that area?
well, just in case, we have any?
No, what we do have.
But do we have a list
Yes,
of?
they have it there, at the
Who
park.
has it, the Wildlife Commission, the Florida Wildlife Commission, who has that list?
They would have it as well, and they have it at in the records at the Virginia Key Beach Park. The trust keeps that. So
Okay.
the turtles are
Are you sure the
endangered.
trust keeps that? Because we have a new board of that
Yes, no,
trust.
no,
so-
no, no. There are even alligators out there.
Oh.
It's alligators or crocodiles.
One of the ones we have that's in danger there is the Cuban lizard.
The what?
Cuban lizard.
The Cuban lizard, yeah. From
There's
Matanzas,
all-
I think.
There's
yeah.
all kind of wildlife and special plants that are indigenous to the area. I'm getting a whole education on what's happening out there. But I just want to make sure that we preserve
Of course.
this space. So I want to make sure that's in the legislation. So when I'm long gone,
So we're putting it there. I just want to make sure what standard we're using because it is sort of vague, right? It's kind of like,
Well, I mean, endangered animals are on a list.
on which list? Do you have that list?
I don't
There
have it, but
there are
the
a number of lists that have endangered
professionals-
animals. The national list, it's Florida list. it's-
professionals other than me.
Okay. All right, but you know there are different lists of these,
Yes,
right? Okay.
yes, agreed.
so
And
all
then
in-
I-
So let's
I-
not
Wait,
overdo
she
it
has one
either,
more.
right?
One more thing, Commissioner Carollo, right now, as the legislation reads, notwithstanding, there shall be no more than 3 signs located within Bayfront Park and no more than 2 signs at Maurice Ferrer Park. That's how we have it. And then the 400, it's 400, you're correct, it was 400 square feet that we have in the legislation. It says, signs installed with pedestal within Bayfront Park, Maurice Ferrer Park, and Virginia Key Beach Park shall not exceed 400 square feet total with embellishments per sign.
all in favor?
Well, one more question, because Commissioner Carollo's area. For future development that may occur there, is there leeway for a larger sign? How do we manage that later on? Is passing legislation, I guess,
Well-
going forward?
Look, I think there's another ordinance
A
that.
community center, something of that nature.
That has to do, by law, let me say this, by law, spacing them the way that I described, you could only put 2
Okay.
at Ferre Park, and you could only put 3 at Bayfront Park. There's room in the center for another one. That's the one that's being discussed. It's a bigger billboard that I think is included in another ordinance that we have here.
Correct. Okay.
Now, if there's going to be a conflict with that, Madam City Attorney, one
No,
ordinance with the other, then
No.
let's resolve that.
No, there is no, the ordinance sponsored by Commissioner Diaz de la Portilla has a separate sign that's
Okay,
about
all right,
1,800
yeah.
square feet.
Right.
Yeah, so that's separate. That's why we did this way. You have a separate ordinance
Yes.
on that. I will say that while I voted against that bigger sign at the Bayfront Park Trust, the rest of my board, I believe unanimously, with the exception of my vote, voted for it. So I believe I'm obliged to represent the vote of that board here today,
Yes, sir. Okay.
even though I might feel differently.
Thank you,
So,
Commissioner.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries with
One exception.
So the motion
no.
passes 3-1
3-1.
with Commissioner Reyes voting no.
Yes.
And Madam City Attorney, it'll be as is, no amendments.
Correct.
Correct.
Okay, let's go back to RE.
I need to step out just for 1 minute, if I can.
Okay, let's go back to RE5.
I do too also, but well, let's go do it. Is this going to be a long presentation?
No,
Come to a
as
resolution.
as
Okay.
instructed, I've spoke to the property owner. They've offered $43,000 to correct these 2 code enforcement liens. Taking into consideration that the city has received roughly $23,000 already, so it would be an additional $43,000, and they've requested 120 days to make that payment.
So that's 66 total. And they owe 666, right?
Well, the 22 is for special assessments that they paid.
Okay.
It's not quite 10% of the code enforcement.
So why are you not asking them to pay more? To pay the 10% of what, besides that, take that 22 off and add additional 22 to it? Yeah,
Right, that was
17, yeah,
their-
16 something.
Right, that was their offer. Obviously, the commission,
This,
Yeah, but their offer's not good enough, because we have to be consistent in how we vote. Okay?
this,
And we have to be consistent in our
I-
policy, otherwise people are all over the place.
right, I understand. but
10%
this
is 10% of what is owed.
There are mitigating circumstances here.
I understand, I've read the whole,
Okay,
I know the whole story.
And they're bringing a business to the community that we need. It's a mulching business. They're not trying to build a bigger house or anything like that. So they're going to be a small business, and I'm in favor of accepting the 43,000. I think that's fair. I think that's fair.
But you are setting a precedent for future conversations on this day, as you realize that.
Well, I'm setting a precedent to address each of these as I have done on a case-by-case basis.
But with consistency, right?
With consistency, I am doing with consistency because we're going to have some more people coming, and I will be voting in a different way
43,000.
How is that consistent then?
because it will show that it is on a case-by-case basis.
43,000 is what percent?
43,000 was taken into consideration. It's, I apologize. With the payment of the special assessment liens, it comes to roughly 10%.
10%. It brings you up to the 10%.
Well, that's not accurate.
7%.
That's not accurate because you're taking into, it's 7% because you're taking into account something else.
No, I agree. That's
You're
why I
throwing
said
it in to
with,
get, you're throwing it in to get to 10%.
apples and oranges.
So we appear to be consistent, but in essence, it's really 7%.
Okay.
So when we come back here, we're gonna have the same conversation, that in essence, we can go down to 7%, and then it'll be 5%. It's a slippery slope.
It leaves you in the realm of consistency.
Well, there is no realm of consistency. It's either consistency or not consistent.
Well, part of the
There is no
mitigation.
realm of consistency. Where did you come up with that one? It's pretty
part
unique.
of-
I like
part
that
of-
one. I like that one. Very good. Good attorney.
Well, part of the mitigation is
The
that
realm
they're
of
not the
consistency.
violator.
Here's what I'm
They're not the
willing,
violator versus a violator.
Right, they weren't the violator. They're bringing a business that's needed into the community, and with the 23,000 that they've already given.
And it's your
now the
district.
43, and it's in my district.
Okay.
And
Well, the district you represent, yes.
the district that I represent.
here's what I'm willing to consider. First, I'm willing to consider that because, one, they didn't buy out the property from whoever was the violator, so that they could flip it into this, and knowing that they could come here and pay less. They had a tax lien on the property. How many years did you pay on this property, the taxes?
They're all paid up front the moment you purchase it, so I'm not.
But you were paying the tax on this property for how many years?
Now it's since 2019, so
Okay.
a little over 3 years now.
Okay, so that's one thing that makes it different for me. The other is, you're planning on doing affordable housing here, right?
No, I want to make a mulching business so we can recycle.
A what now?
A mulching operation.
A mulching?
Mulching.
Operation.
Yeah.
You're going to need some mulching.
How
in the
many
district.
how many people are you planning to hire approximately?
Should be a minimum of 3 people.
Okay.
Yeah. And the material goes to the farms, actually, here.
All right. The only way that I would consider voting for it is if part of the motion is the following. How long is it going to take you to build this and have it operating?
I've already submitted my preliminary plans almost 2 years ago, but this is holding me up. So let's say, to be conservative, 12 months.
Okay.
It really depends on the
All
environmental
right.
body.
My motion would be that I would accept the 43,000, but if within 2 years, that's a year more than you're saying that you'll be able to be in operation. If within 2 years, he doesn't have a mulching business there, then the amount and the difference of the 10%, either he pays it, or we are entitled to, without doing anything else, put a lien on the property for that amount.
No. You legally can't do that. You legally can't do that.
Why not? We're taking
Why
the
not?
liens out.
Because what we're
Well-
doing here is making
No.
a final settlement is what we're doing here, correct?
Well,
It's an
yeah.
appealable order. What we do is an appealable order. Obviously, if they don't comply with the appealable order, we always have language in our resolution that the original lien will be reinstated shall they fail to
Yeah.
comply within the time certain.
But that is that existing language, or why I'm sorry, Commissioner.
Yeah, but we're taking all the liens out, we're just
Right.
including that language in the contract,
Okay.
which I don't see why we can do that. He will be bound by it.
And I would add to that also, if they flip the land or they do something else with it, then I would add that too. That they
Well,
would,
that really comes all together, because
Right.
if he doesn't build the business that he's telling us he will within 2 years, then he has to pay back the monies that is the difference.
I just
between
want to
the
make
7
sure
and
that it's
10%.
there because, it's kind of like trust but verify.
Yeah, I'm not asking
We trust
for-
you, but we just want to make sure that
Yeah.
we keep you honest.
Yeah, I even brought my paperwork that I've submitted to Durham and
Well,
Miami
that's
County. and Miami.
because this is the city of Miami.
So we would
Let's
have.
give him a little bit more than 2 years.
Well, he said a year. He's
Yeah,
been
but-
working
but
at it for
he's-
2 years.
But he had to stop, and this is the city of Miami, and I don't want him to be caught in, someone's trying to get a permit for 6 years. No disrespect to staff, but I don't want him, so give him another year. And I'll be following it. I will be following it. You're gonna need some mulch for the park.
Okay, we'll give it the 3 years.
Yeah.
Within that time, if he flips it, whoever he flips it to, he's got to pay the extra 3% that we didn't get down.
So it is, just so that I'm
But
clear,
we give them 3 years, right?
it's to be a mulching facility for 3 years or to
No,
create
to
a
open
mulch?
it, to
Okay.
have it
To be
open.
operating.
So he has
operating.
3 years to
To
create,
open it.
So when we
open the
say
mulch.
he, we're talking about he.
Yes.
Him, his business,
Yes,
not that he
En su
flips it to somebody
hermano.
else.
En su hermano.
and
His
if
brother is
not,
right there.
it's the 3%, the extra 3% is due and owing
Yeah,
in
and
addition.
just put the amount of the difference, of the
What that
3%
3%
we're
would be.
dealing
Okay.
dollars.
17,000.
So this would probably be a covenant running with the land. That's the only
A
way we
covenant
can.
running with the land.
Absolutely, that's what I was going to say. We have to tie this to the land.
Yes.
You have to tie it to the land because you cannot tie it to a person. You tie it to a person. I mean, the person, if the person flips it or sells it, the person is the one that is liable. We
Okay.
have to tie it to the land.
And now, I think you've gotten what you want for your district, and we've,
You have some assurances.
make
Yes.
sure that we're keeping the 10%.
Yes.
For the rest of the city.
Yes.
So you got what you wanted for your district, and we guarantee the rest of the city, and I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That is government at work.
As amended.
As amended.
It's ugly, it's like making sausage. It's ugly, but it works. It tastes delicious after.
And at this time,
Congratulations.
we have our legislative priorities discussion item.
Yeah, one.
Good morning.
Good morning, Madam Chair. Members of the Commission, Mr. Clerk, and Madam City Attorney. Now that the state legislative session is approaching and a couple of weeks away, the time has come for the board to approve the 2023 legislative priorities for the city of Miami. Now, before we do so, some highlights from last year. The city of Miami had an unprecedented record year in appropriation funding and federal earmarks. We were able to receive and secure over $11 million in state appropriation funds for specific city of Miami projects within each of your districts, as well as $12 million in federal earmarks. Now, at the state level, that's over $8 million more than the previous year. And we can only thank the champions here on this board. I was up in Tallahassee with each one of you, advocating on behalf of these projects. as well as the day delegation and our sponsors there, who made sure to see these projects all the way through. Now, as far as the priorities, I want to reiterate to this board that this is the current list of what we're focused on legislation that we are opposing or supporting and specifics. But this is a living and breathing list that we can add to as a legislative session begins and continues. Last, I ask that this board, if it's the will of the body, to bifurcate the discussion item, which includes federal priorities, so that the administration can come back at a more appropriate time and present federal priorities for this board to approve, if it's the will of the body. Any questions from the board?
No, not at all. I don't have an issue with bifurcating and having the federal items come back to you. So do I have a motion to accept?
Motion.
Second?
Chair, it's just a discussion item.
Oh, so we don't have to, but what about bringing back the other items? That's
Are you
fine,
going to
too.
be bringing back legislation, or are you
Well,
adopting a resolution?
in a perfect world, there would be a resolution with the attachment of what all the priorities are, so that we have it, and then we amend it from time to time.
Well, at this time, we'll say thank you. Thank you for sharing this information with us and the good work that you do.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you. At this time, I believe we are on boards. Mr. City Clerk?
Thank you, Chair. BC2, Art in Public Places. Mayor Suarez will be reappointing Maria Napoles at the recommendation of the Planning Department.
He said who? Oh, you said move it? All right, second. All in favor? Aye.
BC5, Bayfront Park Management Trust. Chairwoman King will be appointing Marie Lucin.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Virginia Key Advisory Board, Miami-Dade County Commissioner for District 7 is requesting confirmation of Nicholas Lopez Jenkins.
Second.
I missed it. For what now?
For the county's appointment to the Virginia Key Advisory Board.
Because that's the overall.
Right, for Virginia Key, not
well-
Virginia Key Trust.
Okay, at some point in the future, I think we need to revisit that because we have many, many people that are not from the city and we kind of lost control on it, but that's for the future.
Well, he
We'll deal with it.
actually lives on Virginia Key.
Yeah.
I met him.
All right. Okay.
So,
Yes.
motion, second, move it. All in favor?
And Chair, just coming back to BC5, Bayfront Park Management Trust, Commissioner Diaz de la Portilla will be reappointing Mercedes Rodriguez with a 4/5 employment waiver.
I'll
Second.
second it. Right.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Chair. That
Thank you,
concludes the boards and
Thank you,
committees.
Commissioners.
Okay, now,
The,
it's 11:30. We're on the PZ items. I
yeah,
know there's a
I have one more appointment that's mine that's there, right? That's in the board. Excuse me? Yes. Okay, I'll deal with the next meeting. Thank you. Well, we could break, come back at 2:30.
We do have an appointment, I believe, of Fernando Acosta to the Code Enforcement Board for my appointment.
Move.
second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Did you get that, Todd?
Fernando
it?
Acosta, you got it?
Okay. How do you guys want to go?
Take a break. No, we.
2:30.
At this time,
Yeah, but, so you know, at 2:30,
no, there's
there's,
You really don't want to finish now?
there-
Can
there-
Run
there-
through them?
There's a special presentation that we have at 2:30, that we're being given certain things by someone that,
we could finish. I'll be back. I will
Okay.
be here for it. You want to
Okay.
finish up the PZs? But then the meeting is over.
No, I'd rather come back at 2:30 now and take this time.
Okay, so we'll be on recess until 2:30. 2:30, guys, 2:30.
Thank you.
I was here.